Doesn't matter if you're 2 or 92, we don't like to be told what to do. This is especially true of Alzheimer's patients who feel, more than most of us, that they've lost control over their lives. Dr. Cameron Camp is the Director of Research and Development at the Center for Applied Research in Dementia in Solon. He's here to tell us how giving choices can help both the patient and their caregivers. Thanks for joining us, Doctor.
Pleasure.
So, giving choices really makes a difference?
It really does. Often we don't want to give over control of our lives to someone else, even if it's someone who loves us. This is a reason why it's so important to give choices, especially for a person who happens to have dementia.
When you say choices, is that, I mean, across the board, just everything, or are there certain things we should give choices and not others? I mean, narrow it for me.
Yeah, it helps not to give open-ended choices. That's kind of tough. It's easier for a person with Alzheimer's disease to answer two-pronged choices. Would you like to wear this blouse or this blouse? And then they can just point to the one that they want, even if they have difficulty forming sentences.
So that's better than saying, which blouse do you want to wear? You give them two choices.
Exactly. You can say chicken or fish, and then you can have, would you like that baked or fried?
Okay, and if you give a choice, but you've limited it, that still counts as a choice.
If you do something like the last example, you've actually let them choose from 4 options, and you've given them 2 opportunities to make a choice, and that's important.
What if they say, go away, you know, no, I don't want to make a choice, or, you know, I mean, how do you deal with that?
A lot of times, if you start trying this, and up to that point, most of their choices have been taken away, people have done things for them, it may take them some time to get used to this. So you have to actually give them training again, in a sense, on how to make choices again. So they may say no, or I don't like that, and then you can say that's fine. You have to honor that choice and to say...
So that's still a choice. They've made a choice not to participate with you in your question.
Exactly so, and you can honor that, and you can say, I'll come back and check with you later. Think about what you might like. I'll think of something too. We'll see what we can come up with.
We've heard, you know, sometimes you pass on the street a school that says Montessori school for our kids. I now hear Montessori training might have something to do with Alzheimer's as well?
Yeah, we're using Montessori educational approaches to create activities for persons with dementia that engage them, give them social roles, and therefore enable them to have a better quality of life and a better quality of life for their caregivers.
Activities. Tell us give us something specific on how a Montessori education situation would help with activities for somebody with Alzheimer's.
Sure. Let's just say a person has difficulty being able to prepare dinner, and you have to prepare dinner for them. You could see if they could at least tear the lettuce for the salad rather than making the entire salad. If they can't do that, can they still read? Can they read to you while you make dinner? So it still gives them a chance to participate and enables them to succeed with the abilities that they still have.
And you're still with the choices, so you're giving them a choice. You know, would you tear the lettuce for me, or would you read me a story or something like that?
Exactly. Would you do this for me? Would you like to do this or this when we're doing dinner? So choice is always a critical element within this Montessori approach.
And when you give somebody a choice, I mean, how does that help them? Is it helping their self-esteem that they've been able to still have some control over something? Is that what it is?
That's exactly it. It gives a person a sense of control, and it enables them to have self-esteem. It validates their worth.
And there's more information available. I want to get this right at you've put things up at Menora Park's website. That's www.menorapark.org/aging resources, and that's where people can go for more information.
I've given a presentation there. They've got that on the website, and it's a great source.
Thank you, Doctor. If your loved one has Alzheimer's, you may feel you don't have much choice about how to help them. But here's a choice you do have. You can call Dr. Camp or go on the website, find out more. The information is coming right up.
For more information, call the Center for Applied Research in Dementia at 440-829-4927 or log on to www.cen4ard.com. Next, Cleveland not only rocks, it pops.